Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my NHL 20 franchise mode here in the state of hockey. In the previous episode, man, I don't even know how to start this one out because of how crazy the last two series have been. After the first round, we're like, hey, we swept the Nashville Predators. We go down 3-0 against the Colorado Avalanche. Spoilers, we beat them in 7. First biggest comeback in Minnesota sports history. My brain is going at 100 miles per hour. I'm recording this episode directly after the last series. We beat Colorado. Craziest series I've ever simmed. And I thought the last craziest series we simmed was last year against Chicago. No, apparently not. And we head up against LA. You know what? LA's a worse team. They didn't have the best regular season. They have a few stars here and there, but I think altogether we're a better constructed team. I know we had a long regular season. The first 2-3 months were rough, but we won the President's Trophy. We dropped the first 3 against LA. Now, I still haven't Googled this, but I'm almost 100% positive no team in NHL history or no major sports, the top 4 sports in North America, football, or NFL, basketball, the MLB, the NHL, no team has come back down from 3-0 to win the series twice. We won the series in Game 7 of overtime. Kaprizov with the game series clincher. This team is giving me so many mixed signals. I'm like, yeah, we're a great team. First round, yeah, we whooped Nashville. They were a pretty strong team on paper, but we just kind of went through them. Colorado, they're a worse team on paper. They almost sweep us. We win in 7. Never been done before in Minnesota. We do that. We do it twice. How? I said my goodbyes after game number 3. I'm like, hey, this is basically it. Not much more I can do. I was going to be mad either which way if we won or not. A win, it would be great, but there's no way we'd pull this off twice. And we did. Again. Overtime in Game 7, we beat them. We exorcised some demons. And we're off to the Stanley Cup Finals. I could talk all day about our comeback story. The first part of the season. We were bottom of the division when I started this season. For the first 3 months, we weren't in a playoff spot. I knew we were probably going to secure a spot at some point. We didn't make any moves at all. We just kind of configured the lines one way. We had to trust this squad, and they got it together. They won the President's Trophy. Off of 2 straight Stanley Cups, this postseason has been wacky to the absolute definition of the word wacky. It has been weird. It has been insane, and it has been mentally exhausting. This postseason has been crazy. But we are still here. We have a fighting chance. We are 4 wins away from winning our 3rd straight Stanley Cup, which I think would make us a dynasty at that point. 3 straight Stanley Cups probably gives you some leeway right there. We are having a Stanley Cup Finals rematch. Our first ever finals was against the New York Islanders. We will talk about that in a few moments. First, I want to say thank you for all your support. I tend to say that a lot, but it's because I really appreciate your support. We're starting up some new franchise modes relatively soon. I would say that in the coming weeks. I'm still working out some kinks, but it is what it is. There are polls in the description. If you haven't already, check them out. It's for upcoming. It's just a few questions I asked you guys, and I thought maybe you can give me some of your opinions. Okay, I'm still working on subscriber-created players. Now, if you're not sure what I mean, you're a new viewer here, go back to my channel update, just check the channel out, and if you're not subscribed, consider subscribing. We're trying to hit 600 before the end of the year, and we smashed 400, which was my original goal, and we already surpassed that. I love you guys very, very much. Before we talk about the New York Islanders, we have to talk about the Minnesota Wild through 18 games. 7 brutal games. 7 brutal games. And we're here. We are still kicking. After I've said goodbye twice, we're here in the finals. The hockey gods have answered my prayers twice, and I'm scared they're going to take everything I love away from me. Alexei Petrangelov is making a run at his 3rd straight Conn Smythe. I'm pretty sure the last player to do that was probably Wayne Gretzky. If there's a player in history to ever do it, it's probably him. Alexei Petrangelov has already tied his points from last year, 28 and 20. He's almost at 30. He's been the most important player on this squad. You can look at Kaprizov, you can look at everybody else, but when we need him the most, he will be there. Both of them did take a hit that series. After the first 3 games, everything was like, oh, this is it, and too bad. They did end off the series incredibly strong. 10 power play goals combined from Kaprizov and Petrangelov. 13 if you count Francis. Petrangelov, if we do win the Stanley Cup, I hope he wins it because he absolutely 100% deserves it. Again, one of the best Russians in the NHL today. Kirill Kaprizov, man, after having a phenomenal season, 54 goals, his best in I guess one season, but he's aging, he's getting older. We signed him to that 3-year deal. He'll be like 37 by the time that's over. I'm glad we have him here for the time that we're winning. Obviously, we have a big offseason ahead of us, but Cup number 5 would be very, very sweet. Anthony Francis, 21 points in 18 games. He's been great. After a slow postseason last year, a Stanley Cup is a Stanley Cup, but what he's capable of, this is more like it. 21 points. I wish he was up there with Petrangelov, but 20 penalty minutes, even though you have a 99 discipline, it can be a little iffy, but everybody has to be better. We are 4 wins away from a Stanley Cup. Cale Newman has stepped it up. He got plenty of goals there in the 3rd round. He scored a few here and there, especially the 7-0 win. Definitely padded some stats for the boys, but a win is a win, and he's been important. One of the most underrated players in franchise history. We can look at him, his 666 career points. He's really come a point-per-game player in the last 5 seasons. He's been the guy scoring at least 40 goals a season. He's going to be at 400 next year. He's been the most underrated player in franchise history, I would say. He's been the man. One of the men. He's one of the men. Sergei Gogolev. I know there is a lot of controversy surrounding Gogolev, as in people want to move on from him. Go get a playmaker. Go get a younger, like Jack Eichel sort of player. Fill that archetype. I 100% understand where everybody's coming from that point. I do. But at this point in time, if we win the Stanley Cup, don't expect me to trade away a lot of pieces. I know I have to go in a general direction, especially with our 5 first-round draft picks. I plan on making some changes with this squad. I know we're capable of doing even better. Going down 3-0 in a series each time shows a little bit of character, but then winning the series is pretty sweet. Gogolev's been great. I can't take that away from him. Lena Waters has been great. 15 points in 18 games as the 2nd/3rd line center. They've both been switching out here and there. He's been great. Louis Langweeder, quiet, but he's scored a few goals here and there. Could definitely be better, but somebody has to be. Not everybody's going to be a point-per-game player on this squad. Chris Griffin, 8 points in 18 games. -1, could definitely be better. The bottom 6 definitely got a boot in the last round, especially, again, going down 3-0 hurts your stats especially the bottom six. It happens, but he needs to be better. Pete Curry, 4 goals, 2-game winners. I love him. Kolyakovo, 4 points, -2, definitely could be better, but he's playing fourth line time as a playmaker. I don't plan on moving him out because we're here for a reason. The hockey gods have let us win. Connor Bobylev, I believe he tied game number 2 or something like that to force overtime. I could definitely be wrong, but 3 points in 18 games. He is a minus player. 2 penalty minutes, though, which is huge, especially from a grinder. Hadfield is the only plus player there in the bottom, or on the fourth line. He hasn't been bad. So let's talk about defense. Quinn Hughes has taken over the lead for defensive points. It was only a matter of time. It's Quinn frickin' Hughes. I'm glad he's having a stellar postseason. Not like a few years ago where he had 7 and 13 and he got injured. It was a rough season. Postseason especially. That was the year he scored 118 points or whatever it was. It was a rough season. If he's a point per game defenseman, that's all I can really ask for. No, that's more than I could ask for, especially from a defenseman. He does this year in, year out. It's not like a one-and-done situation like Matt Dumba, where he did it 2 years and he was like, hey, we weren't even a good team back then. Quinn Hughes has been the cornerstone of this franchise. He doesn't even have an A on his jersey, which is crazy. I hope he stays around long enough in the league for him to get a captaincy on the squad. Ooh, funny, right? He could definitely be the captain after Kaprizov retires. You never really know. Brant Clark has been very impressive. 9 penalty minutes, a few, but he's been reliable. Same with Mironov, absolute beauty. Like, what else can you expect from him? Georges Bissonnette only had 2 points that series. He's a +4 and 2 penalty minutes as long as he's not a liability and he's putting up a few points. Harry Parrish, he's scoring a few goals. I'm okay with that. Plus minus could be better. And then Mats Pearson could be better, but 3 points is 3 points, right? Our defensemen are definitely coming up on the right end. Goaltending now. I don't even want to talk about goaltending because Tallender is the biggest on the list of reasons why we go down 3-0. He is definitely on the top of that list. And obviously somebody had to go and flush a toilet. Obviously, whenever I record, somebody has to go flush. But, it's whatever. Taro Mackey, we throw him in for 1 game, craps the bed. Tallender does everything in his power to lose a series. Everything in his power. But we're here. Somehow, from the grace of God, there is only one way I will be happy when this postseason ends. And that's with another Stanley Cup ring. So let's talk about the New York Islanders. Round number 1, they beat the Devils in 6. They head on to Madison Square Garden and beat their New York pals, the Rangers, in 7. And then they whoop Buffalo in 5. They've had a relatively decent postseason. I mean, New Jersey, I'm not sure how they are. We did face them in the finals not too long ago. The Rangers, we did as well. Buffalo, I would have liked to face them, but the Islanders, no idea what they're looking like. In the regular season, they went 49, 26, and 7. Definitely not one of the worst records we've seen. We've seen some weird records make it in the postseason, but how well you did in the regular season literally doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Look at the LA Kings knocking us down a peg, right? But what do the Islanders look like in 2031? I honestly couldn't tell you what they're looking like. Honestly, don't know. Oh, no. No, my God. That first and second line is nasty. Oh, no. Oh, no. It's one of the Slychuk brothers. Oh, God. Oh. You know you're a good team when you have a Smirnov on your squad. Sorry, I'm choking. Okay, let's start at the top. Their first line center, Matthew Barzal, former Calder winner for the New York Islanders. How has he been in his career? A pretty solid player. Down years here and there, but he is capable of putting up 90 points. It's dangerous. This year, scored 21 goals. He's definitely the playmaker on his first line, but that's a great center to have in the postseason, right? Look at the season. Look at the postseason he's having. 20 points in 18 games. Exactly. Vasily Kravtsov, top pick of the New York Rangers a few seasons ago, IRL, 9th overall pick, playing in the KHL for a bit. He went over to New York. He was with New York, went over to Winnipeg, heads to the Islanders, that dirty, rotten bugger. Oh, he did them dirty. New York traded him out of, or I don't know if they traded him, but he left the conference, went back to the, that's evil. And then they have Stanislav Zarkov on the first line, 91 overall. At least a 60-point score for the seasons that he's been here in Long Island. Or I guess they're in Brooklyn. Where are they right now? I'm not sure where the Islanders are. But that's a really good first line. Honestly, I think the second line is better. They have Lou McCullum, 91 overall, left-wing playmaker. Or technically he's a center, but that's dangerous. He's definitely capable of point per game. Oh yeah, he's dangerous. They also have Vadim Slychuk, and if you don't know why I'm talking about brothers, what do you mean? When I created this franchise mode, I'm like, I'll put like a brother trio. I have Gustav, Vadim, and then, if I'm not mistaken, Alexei Slychuk for the New Jersey Devils, if I'm not mistaken. Can't really recall, but we know all about Gustav. We've seen him plenty. Vadim and his other brother are in the East, and he has been dangerous the last few seasons. 111 points. When you have Cole Caulfield on your wing, you're doing something right. And if you don't know who Cole Caulfield is, I legitimately think he was the third best player to come out of the 2019 draft. I know, that's but Owen, you're just a Montreal Canadiens fan and you're saying that. I think this guy is a pure goal scorer. He's 5'6". Yeah. So Martin St. Louis was tiny, but did you see his tree trunk legs? Yeah, he never skipped leg day. He can shoot the puck. In a postseason situation, the guy I'm most scared of is Cole Caulfield because he's a creative player. He's going to put up more goals than the rest of the guys. Same with Vadim Slychuk. Third line, it doesn't get any easier for us. They have Jermaine Rubtsov. Oh, God, they have a deep center core there. They have Dmitry Smirnov and Phil Setaguchi. That's a great third line. It's a phenomenal top 9. Fourth line, they have Nicholas Waugh, I think it's Nicholas Waugh. And then you have Toby Sira, and then you have Zachary Mason. What can I say about this squad? I hope they put a lot of money into their forward cords and have no goaltender or defense. But they're here for a reason, aren't they? Their forwards have definitely been the reason they got here. Defense, what's it looking like? Yeah, it seems like they put all their effort into the forwards, but that's gotten them here, right? Daniel Chayka, Dante Fabro, Madison Bowie, Ryan Lindgren, Jared McIsaac, and Josh Mahura. They definitely have their cornerstone defenseman in Dante Fabro. Pretty solid defenseman. Chayka, Lindgren, they're middle of the pack defenseman. Bowie, McIsaac aren't too bad, and Mahura. So they definitely rely a lot on their forwards. Who is their goaltender? Their starting goaltender is Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, former Buffalo Sabres prospect. Definitely their best goaltending prospect in their system. Was with Buffalo for quite a long time. He's here in Long Island. Not having the best of season, but their backup goaltender is Tucker Tynan. It's a really good duo, but overall goaltenders, it doesn't matter what your overall is. It doesn't matter. Scratch players, Travis Dermott, just add him to the defense. That's pretty good. They have Jamison Reese and then Michael Thalberger. I hope he doesn't get in the lineup. Former Minnesota Wild. Oh, it's been that long since he's been on the squad? Really? Oh, funny. Former Stanley Cup champion. What can I say? I hope he doesn't get in the lineup because I'm scared of any former player we've had playing on another team. Yeah, I get why they're here. 150%. They rely heavily on their forwards. It means that we have to step it up. Game number 1. Let's see how this series goes. First period. 1-0. Louis Langweeder, a late goal in the first period, under a minute left. Almost tripling them in shots. 14-5. It's a good first period. We need a little more goals. Second period. Okay. Ooh, I saw one. I'm like, they tied it. No, we got 2 goals there. 2 special teams goals. Brant Clark on the power play. Zarkov brings it back. Cale Newman in shorthanded. That's exactly what you need to do. We are doubling them in shots. 32-14. Or basically doubling. We're over doubling. You know what I mean. Third period underway. A 2-goal lead. They have their weapons. Come on, Minnesota. Hold it down for game number 1. Anthony Francis getting on the board, securing the 3-goal lead about halfway through the third period. Gogolev on the board. Slychuk, exactly. See, they can roll up a few goals here and there. Pete Curry, his 5th goal of the postseason, just does whatever he wants. Pete Curry is an absolute beauty. He shoots threes like Steph Curry. Vadim Slychuk again. Exactly. We just have to pack on the goals. Exactly. Look at all the goals they scored there, Tallender. Just be glad we scored more than they did, okay? He's not a great game. The first 2 periods were really solid from us. Third period, we really let it go to our heads there. You need to shut it down, Tallender. I really don't like what you're doing, but you haven't been the greatest of goalies. Game number 2. We've had a lead in the series for the first time in 2 rounds. Isn't that funny? Right? Because technically we didn't have a lead in each of the last 2 rounds because we won in game 7. Right? So, game number 2. Let's see if we can keep it going. Home ice. First period. 1-1. Matthew Barzal opens the scoring about halfway through the first period. Sergei Gogolev ties it late. Big goal there. They leave us at 6 shots. Rough. Rutro. Riggy. That's my Scooby-Doo. Thank you. I'll be taking the Venmos. Link in the description. I'm joking. New York Islanders, Minnesota Wild. 1-1. Second period. Here we go. Okay, I'll take that. Zarkov breaks the 1-1 score. Why was that so hard to say? Cale Newman and Waters back-to-back. Huge. Taking the lead for the Minnesota Wild. Shots are in their favor. It's pretty even, though. Third period underway. Power play early for the Islanders. We kill it off. That is a big kill for the Wild. Can we get another goal? Tack on another goal, Minnesota. Come on. Come on, Minnesota. Tack on. Do it. Do. Come on. Minnesota, come on. Minnesota, please. Don't just do this. This is stressful. Sergei Gogolev, another goal on the evening. Huge performance from him. He has been the MVP so far. Chris Griffin with an empty netter. I'll take it either which way. Big Game 2 performance for Gogolev. And an even bigger performance from the squad in front of him. Okay. Bob McFumbles is hurt in the AHL, so we'll just go best lines for them. And how are they doing? Oh, they're winning in their series. Cool. They're playing the Phantoms in the AHL. Cool. Maybe we'll both win championships. But this series is not over. We head to the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. I think that's in Brooklyn. They're the Brooklyn Islanders, which makes no sense. I don't know. I'm probably really stupid. My geography, not great. Okay. Game number 3 in their ice. Let's see how this one goes. First period. 1-0 Islanders. Cole Caulfield on the power play. Tallender, you let in 1 goal on 5 shots. If it was 10 shots, respectable. 15, even better. 20, yeah, great. 5 shots, Tallender. Really? Second period. Come on, Minnesota. There we go, Minnesota. Come on. Anthony Francis with a big tying goal, Harry Parrish on the back end, Kaprizov making a 2-goal lead. We double them in shots after 2 periods. That is the second period performance we needed heading into the third. No pep talk. I'm not even going to do a pep talk. Come on, Minnesota. Just nice and easy. Power play for the Islanders. We kill it off. Huge kill for the Wild. Oh, you can't do that. Oh my God. Oh God. Don't let the lead go to your heads. Power play for us. We can't score. 2-goal lead. 2 minutes left. Power play for the Islanders again, and we kill off 3 power plays or 3 penalty kills in the third period of play. And we have a 3-0 series lead in the Stanley Cup Finals over the New York Islanders. Now, I would be saying, it's over! We won the Stanley Cup! If we hadn't just gone through 2 series where we went down 3-0. Because I know teams are capable of it. We've seen each end. We swept, we reverse swept, and we did it again, and we could sweep again. Minnesota, do not give them an ounce of hope. They might already be saying their goodbyes. They're like, oh, it's over, you know what, it's over. They're going in front of their fans. They have a chance to make a dent in the series. Finish them. Fatality. Here we go. Game number 4. A chance to three-peat as Stanley Cup champions is on the line. First period. Yes. All the heartbreak. Yes. 3-0 after 20 minutes, 14 shots to 6 in our favor. Hadfield, Kaprizov, and Langweeder each end of the ice for the forward core. Oh my God. No. Third period, come on. Second period, come on. Kaprizov's second of the evening. Shots are 26-12. No pep talk, Minnesota. You don't need it. You don't need the pep talk. 2 series in a row, you reverse swept the opposition. It's never been done before. The countdown is on to the 3-peat. I would debate that this might be the greatest postseason performance of all time. You can say, well, you won the President's Trophy, you should probably beat these teams. Yeah, I get that. We should have beat every team in front of us. And we're about to do that. The Stanley Cup is in the building. The Islanders fans are peed off. I get it. I do. How did they not put up a better fight than and Colorado and LA did? What? And Nashville didn't. Those 2 teams were definitely a lot better constructed. I thought I would have words to describe this postseason, but I've said all the words that come to mind already. This is the most incredible performance. We reverse sweep the Colorado Avalanche. Doing that once and going on to win the Stanley Cup. The LA Kings did it. Oh, and they score. I don't care. Whatever. Break the shutout. Tallender knows how to... It's whatever. It's talent. But to do it twice, which has never been done before, making history, going on to win the Stanley Cup, sweeping the New York Islanders, is something you could never imagine. It's something you couldn't write. I don't know how we've blown 3-1 series leads. This has never been experienced by me. I've never seen that anywhere else on YouTube where that has happened. Enjoy this, Minnesota. The three-peat is complete. I would question to say that you are a dynasty. You are up there with some of the greatest Stanley Cup champions of all time. Season 1, that was sweet as hell. Season 2, a comeback in the second round against Chicago. We win the Stanley Cup twice in a row. We've done that before. We won 2 Stanley Cups in a row all the way back when we had Jack Eichel. We lost. Did I say Jack Eichel? I meant Jack Hughes. I don't know who I said. Last year, we lost Jack Eichel after winning 2 straight Stanley Cups. I thought it would be a very similar situation to the Jack Hughes, where we win 2 straight, trade our second line center. Isn't that funny? We go out here, have the most historical run in the postseason. I would say it would. I don't know how to describe this. I don't know how. But we're here for a reason. The hockey gods answered my prayers twice, 3 times, 4 times, first round, second round, third round. Pietrangelo wins his 3rd straight Conn Smythe trophy. That's gotta be sweet for him, man. He better enjoy that. He deserves it. He was the man all season long. And the Stanley Cup is being awarded to the Minnesota Wild for the 5th time in franchise history. This is sweet as hell. And for the 5th time in this player's career, he will be the first person on his squad to touch the Stanley Cup. As the captain of this franchise, we put our faith into him. A lot of people might have been like, hey, a Russian from KHL to come over and become captain. Might have called me crazy, but here we are after 5 Stanley Cups and 3 straight. This is greatness. You are watching greatness unfold. Bissonnette, he has been around on some great teams, but he has been one of the young, great defensemen on the squad that are going to lead us into the future. Waters, when we drafted him, we didn't know he was going to be super special, and he comes over here and he's an instrumental part to, I want to say, all 3 Stanley Cups. Huge piece. Everybody on this squad, except Tallender, which we will talk about in the future, but right now we're enjoying the Stanley Cup. Enjoy the hell out of this. Tallender, man, we have problems, don't we? I feel like we do. I yell at him a lot, but we won a Stanley Cup, so how mad could I possibly be? The answer is, I can't be mad. We are again on top of the hockey world. We never left. 3-peat is complete. Enjoy it.